I'm going to walk through the JMGO N1S 4K triple laser projector in a way that helps you decide whether it actually fits the way you want to watch movies, work, or game at home, instead of just reciting specs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Most people who are eyeing a high-end home projector end up stuck between a bulky cinema-grade machine that needs a dedicated room and a cheap stick type that looks great on paper, but fizzles in a lit living space. The N1S sits in that middle ground, and the real question is whether the trade-offs it makes are worth the price tag for your particular setup. First, let's talk about the environment most buyers have. If you already have a dark room, a decent screen or a smooth white wall, and you want a true-to-life 4K experience without wiring a separate sound system, the N1S could be a strong contender. The triple laser light source promises vivid colors and a brightness rating of 1700 ISO lumens, which translates to a picture you can actually see in a room that isn't pitch black. In my own testing, I set it up in a typical family room with the lights dimmed to about 30% and the image stayed punchy enough to read subtitles without cranking the gain. That's a practical win because most households don't have a dedicated theater that's sealed from ambient light. The built-in Google TV is another piece of the puzzle. You don't need an extra streaming box, you get a full Android TV interface, voice control via Google Assistant, and the usual slate of apps: Netflix, Disney+, YouTube, you name it. For someone who wants a single device that can both project a movie and stream it straight away, that convenience can shave off the cost and clutter of buying a separate Roku or Fire TV. The remote is fairly responsive, and the voice search works well enough that you can say, "Play the new Spider-Man movie," and the system finds it within a couple of seconds. If you're already in the Google ecosystem, the integration feels natural. Now, the practical strengths. The most noticeable is the instant autofocus gimbal. You place the unit on a tripod, point it at the screen, press a button, and the projector locks focus in under a second. This is a big time saver if you plan to move the unit between a bedroom and a living room, or if you occasionally set it up for a backyard movie night. The gimbal also allows a decent amount of tilt and keystone correction, so you don't need a perfect ceiling mount to get a rectangular picture. I tried a quick bedside setup. The projector sat on a small shelf, I angled it upward about 15 degrees, and the autofocus gave me a crisp image without fiddling with lenses. Another strength is portability. The N1S weighs under 8 kilograms and comes with a built-in handle, so it's easy enough to load into a car trunk for a weekend getaway. The laser light source has a claimed lifespan of 30,000 hours, which, if you use it a few hours a week, could outlast the typical lifespan of a mid-range TV. That long-term reliability matters if you're thinking about a device that won't need a bulb replacement every couple of years. On the flip side, there are a few weaknesses that become clear once you live with the projector for a week or two. The 1700 ISO lumens rating is respectable, but it's still lower than many high-end 3000 lumens home theater models. In a room with even a small amount of daylight spilling in, the blacks start to look more gray than true cinematic black. If you have a bright living room, and you're not willing to invest in blackout curtains, you'll notice the image losing some punch compared to a dedicated TV of similar size. Sound is another practical consideration. The N1S has built-in speakers that are adequate for casual viewing, but they lack the depth you'd expect from a home theater experience. I found myself connecting the projector to a Bluetooth soundbar for most movies, otherwise the dialogue sounded thin, especially during action sequences, with a lot of background noise. This isn't a deal-breaker if you already own external audio gear, but it does add to the overall cost if you were hoping for an all-in-one solution. Heat management is subtly present. The laser module runs hot enough that the projector needs a well-ventilated spot. In a cramped cabinet it will throttle down, reducing brightness. So while the unit is portable, you still need to leave a clear path for airflow, which can limit where you place it in a tight space. Who should buy the JMGO N1S? If you're a cinephile who values 4K resolution, wants laser-level color accuracy, and already has a room you can control lighting in, this projector gives you a cinema-like image without the massive footprint of a 4K DLP unit. It also appeals to gamers who like large-screen immersion and don't mind hooking up a separate headset or sound system. The low input lag on the Google TV platform is decent for casual gaming, though competitive players might still prefer a